just like a painting. I was telling Christy, if you spend 5 minutes on it here and 5 minutes on it there, that's all I can do right now. Even with my new aids, I'm going to try that this week. The weights on my arm, the weighted pencils, and see what happens. But I work a little bit at a time. This is what I've done the last few weeks. Sorry, it's not exciting. It's not fine art, but it was fun. I haven't put the words in it. Rob is going to put the words in it.
Sorry. Don't you dare say sorry.
Oh, I love that. That is so cool.
Anyway, the words go right here. I made them, but I can't write the words. So Rob does the writing for me.
Cool.
Actually, he even cleaned this up right here because it was so jagged where I couldn't get a clean line. So he cleaned up the edges and he'll put the words in for me. So that's my entry. And for those who have not seen it, this was, here's the Earl's Gotta Die.
Parkinson's scratched out. Earl's Gotta Die. No jumping.
Earl, this is collage.
Okay.
But Earl's buried in the hill in the background.
Yeah.
And they even say 109 in that. 109 is right up here where I live. They even say 109 in that song. And then there is, well, where did it go? Doing things backwards doesn't work.
It's good for your brain, though.
Yeah, there's the first one. And
pick the pace.
And Rob, this is glued in, and that's painted, and this is glued in. And he wrote the words for me. They're backwards for you all.
Can I read them?
No, they're not. I can read them. We can see them.
Read them, Peach.
Yeah. Read them. The lame man had to get up and walk, or he never would have been healed. He had to keep walking every single day. I am walking for my life, they say. So, my goal is to run. I think I'll do it, but in new shoes. Yeah. How can anyone feel bad while wearing new shoes? Pick up the pace.
I love it.
I love that.
I do too.
You gotta publish this.
And then I did this one.
Oh, it's beautiful. One step closer.
Just keep going, keep going. And then, of course, this is the one that I did. It's just real slow going. He's going to say something like, well, this is collage down here. And these dots are all papers that I painted and cut out in circles.
But the puppy, it's a watercolor dog, right?
He is.
It's wonderful. What do you mean you can't do watercolors? You got
it. Well, I mean, I'm not really excited over him.
I love him.
But, if this is all you can do, then you need to do that,
If that's all you can do, you're doing great. That is wonderful.
I've been at this one for weeks, and I think part of it is up here. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the case with anything. A lot of it is up here. And you have to believe you can. You have to be determined to do it. And you have to, and it's like I told Christy, you learn so much from play time. And this is play for me. But you just learn so much playing. And like Peach said, you have no idea what you're going to learn in 15 minutes a day if you just try. But anyway, he is going to say something to the order of, I'm no fashion consultant, but are you really wearing those shoes to PT? So anyway, this is what Denise. I work on. So,
wow. And for those who don't know Denise well, she is an exquisite portrait artist. And I think God gave you extra talent in that area so that what you're calling not so good now is exceptional. I know it's down a notch from what you're used to doing.
It is.
Imagine if you were just kind of and now you were doing this, your work would be way down here in your own eyes, but not everybody else's. So it is. Remember that picture I showed you guys years ago in one of my PowerPoints? It's a horse tied to a plastic chair. and it's something about it's all in your head. I can't think of it. I'll have to find it for you to show it to you. But yeah, I mean, our limitations sometimes, or we think we can't go anywhere. And I mean, it's a little plastic lawn chair that this horse is tied to.
But if that's how you lose weight, by 1/4 pound at a time.
Right.
Not 10 pounds at a time.
That's
so
right.
I'm just doing a few ounces at a time here, but I'm trying, I'm doing other things that's working towards my physical therapy and occupational therapy takes a long time. I have to spend a lot of time on that every day, and it's grueling. But hopefully it will help my creativity. I will be able to do more as the harder I work at improving myself.
And a reminder, if you think, sometimes we think back in the back of our minds, well, when I'm older and I'm not so busy, or if
honey,
I'm
do it now.
Do it
Y'all
now.
do it now.
If
do everything you want to do now.
Do it now. You're right. And again, it's just making use of. Hey, Amy, good to see you. Making use of the time and the resources that you have right now, and knowing that it's putting something good in. I cannot tell you how much spirit has been lifted just these couple of minutes of being on with you guys and seeing those pictures, because it's like, if Denise is doing that, why in the world am I not doing that? I mean,
well, you know how I learned to do that in that book? Playing.
Yes.
15 minutes at a time, just like Peach said.
She's got my little lesson, my little inspirational segment for y'all. She did it all. She sent me some images this week, and I'm going to share those with you in a couple minutes. They're so awesome, Denise, and I want you to expound on them all that you can, because you and Peach are the queen of play.
Queen?
Yep, the queens. So, anything else, Denise, on your mind about just that's what you've been up to?
I probably said too much.
No, not at all. That's what we're here for, and we've got the whole hour, and so I love that.
Just play. That's my advice. Just play. Don't waste time. And even if all you have is 10 minutes, go for it. You think you're not benefiting from opening this book and doodling for 10 minutes. You think that you're not, but I promise you are. In 6 months, you'll be shocked at how much you improve from play. Think about this. Everything that you learned as a child, as a baby and child, you learned it first by play. Christy, look at how much you're teaching Destiny by all those playful videos that you're making. She's never going to forget those things. That play is so important, but it's not just as important for Destiny. It's important for you, for every one of us.
And it's a compulsion in me to capture those things. I'm trying to learn to, if you're compelled, you just feel something pushing you along to do that, you should honor that. And
you're changing her life, and you don't really think about it at the time, but you are.
I don't really realize it, but a while back I realized that one of the things this is doing for her is it's showing her how much she's loved, because I don't want her to have that rejection to scar her of her mother leaving her. My grandchildren's mother had left them 2 years ago. And so, her seeing herself playing with us and being loved and smooched and kissed on is going to be a constant reminder to her of how much love is being poured into her. And that's really important it's really important. And I didn't even realize that was y'all know I've been videoing and taking pictures my whole life. So trying to chronicle everything. I'm a chronic chronicler. But
love is the most powerful thing there is in existence. And God is love. And when you share it with others, you can't help but help everyone around you.
And I posted a video this week of us playing in the leaves. And when I was recording that, I shared this with my girls that I meet with, a spiritual group. But when I recorded that, I did it because I had done the similar thing with her brother. So I just set my little camera up over on the side and we played. And I thought, what is the purpose of this? Are you just trying to... But as I looked at it, I was kind of struck with the love that was coming through me to her. The first thing I saw was my big horse teeth when I was laughing. And I wanted to, I wanted to focus on that because I try to be careful that I don't have too big of a gummy smile when I smile. Shut up, Peach. But when you really have joy and you don't have any reservation, you don't worry about your gummy smile. You just let it out like a child does. And I watched her posture in that. She would throw her head back in joy, and was just delighted. I mean, all the little moments that I captured in there were so precious. Amy,
I think you're beautiful. I'm the one that I'm like, okay, I'm on here because you have called me out too many times. I'm on here.
We can see your face.
Yes, you can see my face. And I'm like, I look at y'all and I'm like, y'all are so gorgeous. And I'm like, oh, I need to do something. I'm like, ugh.
All I am, Amy, all I am is clean. I did get a shower.
All I am is clean.
We'll take clean.
Oh my gosh, isn't that laughter good? But when you see that coming through you, and I told my son the other day, I said, you know how they used to, or you'd seen these movies where they would set up cameras to try to capture a ghost or something, in the Ghostbusters or whatever. And when that camera captured that joy on there, it was like for a minute I had a mirror of the love that God has put in me for this child. And it makes me kind of tear up because that's not just me. Any love that comes through us is from God. And it's like
love that love brought you joy.
Brought me so much joy. And you don't know it sometimes when you're doing it. You're not aware of it. But when you see it, when you back up, and she said the other day, we were telling her to be careful coming down the stairs because we have these really steep stairs, and we scared her to death about them. And her brother said, I fell down them, Desi, so you be careful. And she said, I want to see that Vivi. She calls videos. She said, I want to see the Vivi of you falling down the stairs, Bubba. And I said, honey, we don't have video of that. We don't video everything. So she's got that in her mind that everything we do now, she can rewind it and see it. Thank God that doesn't happen. But yeah, just the laughter on here. Every one of you has such a beautiful expression on your face as we laugh together. And I don't know if y'all laughed yet today or even this week, but sometimes...
I have really been conscious of that for quite some time because, I can go on far too much, but laughter, I'm studying things that increase dopamine in the body, and laughter is one of those things. And, so I'm really looking into things that build dopamine. So this is a very interesting concept. So.
Well, and dopamine has to do with our creating too. If you feel funky in a depression, you're not going to get your stuff out to create. So I want to go ahead and share. I'm going to get around to going around to each person, but I wanted to share a couple of these slides you sent me, Denise. This is the first one that Denise sent me. Scientists have discovered that it takes approximately 400 repetitions to create a new synapse in the brain, unless it is done in play, in which case it only takes 10 to 20 repetitions.
That's wow to me.
That's wow. That's pretty amazing.
Transfer that into, say, we have discovered that it's 400 repetitions to learn something new in art. But if you play, you can learn it in 10 to 20 repetitions.
Yeah. Because if we sit down to be a student and we're so serious about this, and I got to make this amazing piece of work, and it's got to be a masterpiece every time I sit down, your brain, there's going to be
there's a lot of stress in that.
There's a lot of
stress in it. And it'll make you a quitter if you keep thinking that way.
I'm looking at y'all. Go ahead.
That's like one of my number one problems is exactly what y'all are saying. I'm like too serious about it, and then like I end up being like a deer in headlights and not doing anything.
Be a child. Just play. Have fun.
Well, and here's
Don't
the
worry
science.
about the outcome.
Right.
Just throw that paint or pencil or whatever. Just throw it out there and have fun and laugh at it if you don't like it, and then do it again.
I really need to learn that.
Well, and it's kind of helping me with my direction for the new year a little bit as we're talking, but we've done several sketchbook classes where we had, Bridget's great with sketchbook prompts and a daily thing that you draw, and then we come back and we're accountable to each other on what'd you do this week.
Those paintings you put in yours are phenomenal. The old masters paintings that you put in.
From the classes last year. I can't even find that book in the move. I've got to find it because it is kind of precious to me now. Treasure. But that's a different thing. That was us jumping in there and learning by copying it, studying, and there's a place for that. But if you're in a stuck place where your head's getting in the way, I think just peeling it all the way back down to, I'm going to play for a few minutes today. It's in a sketchbook. Nobody has to see it. But then I go right straight to, well, this is going to be handed down. It's going to be some kind of a relic that's going to be handed down, and people are going to know all about me in my sketchbook. So it has to be good.
I think that when I and people open my sketchbooks, they are going to roll laughing. What kind of crazy woman was this? It's okay. It's okay.
Well, and we've watched you, Denise. We've watched your skills and watched you share all those things, even things that you say, this is not really very academic or very good, but it's spurred us on. And so I think
I can't claim to be academic right now.
Well, and there's something else with accountability. If you're going to be meeting together and everybody's going to be sharing their stuff, it's like, oh, I need to do that, because I'll do it sometimes because I know I need to be accountable, whereas I won't do it if there's nothing.
Can I say something?
Please, yes, jump in there.
Really think about it. Like, if you were handed down, like, let's say your grandmother, you got a sketchbook handed down to you, you would not look through it and be like, oh my gosh, this isn't that good. I don't think that you would treasure it. You would learn something about her. So I think, even if your sketchbook got handed down to somebody, you would treasure everything in there. You would see the hard work that they put forth. You would not be like, oh my gosh, this is you wouldn't say that. We're just harder on ourselves.
I think you're right.
Other people.
I think you're right.
Isn't that a waste of time too? That when we do that, it's totally wasting time and energy. Peach,
part of my business, a friend of mine owns a frame shop, and he sends me customers that need stuff to be fixed. Not museum quality, because I am not a restorer that way. And I clean paintings with spit, believe it or not. Long story. Anyway, I'm not kidding, it works. Don't use Wonder Bread, it doesn't work. Or chemicals. The deal is 95% of these paintings are something that somebody's grandmother did, and some of them are actually, oh my gosh. May I show you one of them?
Yeah. Let me spotlight you. Love to see it. Look at her studio, y'all. Her whole front living room is her studio. It's great.
It's a mess.
No, it should be a mess. That means you're busy.
I turned my whole front living room is a gym. Oh, wow.
Look at this.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Yes. Now, see here, the paint is flaking, plus it's filthy. You can't even tell how gross it is. But she smoked, I think, near a fireplace. But the point is, this is so precious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was her grandmother's. Also, I fixed one that was some guy's wife and his grandchild, and it was some kind of cheap canvas in pieces. It done some kind of swirly thing. So I had to glue it back together, repair it, and then you don't change the painting, but you have to fix it so it doesn't look so yucky. That guy was like thrilled. And it was just something. But the point is, what Christy was saying, and Denise and everybody else, people are not going to look at this stuff and go, eh. They're going to look at it and say, oh my gosh. And then the other thing is, Christy, you're dead. You don't care. Okay?
That's
so
true.
They're looking at your sketchbooks and you're croaked. Who cares? So going on. That's all I got.
The thing is, as we're moving on, and you younger girls might not be at this place yet, but you don't want to waste any time. You don't want to waste time on stuff that's meaningless, and you want all your interactions to be meaningful. You want the thoughts in your head. As soon as these thoughts have been coming in lately, I've been going, stop it, shut up. I'm not wasting any time on that. Because there's too many other things to do. And
I visualize a great big fat red button that says stop, and I hit it.
You hit it. That's great.
Over and over again, because thinking positive is very important for Parkinson's. It really is. But I would like to, Peach, I really enjoyed seeing that painting, and that you are repairing it. Anytime you have those, I personally would love to see what you're doing.
Okay.
Yes.
I can't post it on Facebook.
No.
Oh no, just at maybe our meeting.
Share it with us, though. That would be great.
I'd be thrilled if you want to look at it.
Oh yes, absolutely.
All right.
That's just another avenue, another facet of art, and that we probably don't think about is restoration.
Well, this isn't like fancy restoration. This is like,
hey,
we got to get it done cheap restoration.
I like that.
And there is one of you guys told me about this on Instagram. There's a restoration, real fancy schmancy Baumgartner restoration. Julian Baumgartner, Baumgartner, and he posts all the time. Really interesting. I haven't been following it lately, but he shows, solutions to, like right now, solutions to easily avoidable problems, and all kinds of interesting things. Maybe you can share a link
with us.
Yes, I will. I'll do that when we get done here. I'll send that out to you.
Just a sidebar, there's a show, there's only one season right now on Netflix, but it's called The Repair Shop. I don't know if y'all have heard about it. No. It's in England, and they repair everything, like antique, like wood and stuff, but there's also there's two people. There's a bunch of people, but there's a pottery person and an art person who does restoration, and she does the spit too that you were talking about, where she cleans the painting with her spit first.
Oh.
But it's super interesting to watch.
What is it on,
send the link to it on our class page?
Yeah, it's called The Repair Shop. It's on Netflix. They only have one season right now.
Okay.
But
here, I'll put it in the chat, but I'll send it in the recap today too. And the other one, yeah, we love those. They're so interesting. Because that kind of lights a fire under you too when you see paintings like that. Anytime you see beautiful art. Here's a couple of other quotes that Denise sent me this week. Play is the highest form of research, Albert Einstein. We just take ourselves way too serious. You know? We put too much pressure. Most of us do. And I see it in classes, people. I had one guy, I'll never forget, he would just hold his head like this. And he was such a detailed person. He had all these little measuring apparatuses lined up just perfectly on the table. And he just was so intent on it that I didn't see any pure joy coming out of him in doing it, because he was putting a lot of pressure on himself. And I see that with myself and with you guys sometimes too, when we're not having fun. I'm like, hey, take a deep breath, you guys. I would say that in class all the time. Remember to breathe, and remember it's for fun. It's all for fun. It's supposed to be joyful. I love this one, Denise. It says, at the end of the day, your feet should be dirty, your hair messy, and your eyes sparkling. And is that an incentive or not? You should
at least have some amount of paint on your personage.
Yes, you should. Or dirt in my case. You don't know the influence either, because my little granddaughter already loves to dig. Anytime we go outside, she makes a beeline for what she calls her playground. And it's just a little spot of dirty dust. And now she'll bring me a little bit in her fingers and say, here's your fairy dust, Gran. And so I'm like, and I can't see her where she goes, so it's hard on this big place to keep an eye on her, but she loves to dig in the dirt. She's making sandcastles.
Cool.
So again, play. Watch, what's around you. And then I love this one. The body heals with play, the mind heals with laughter, and the spirit heals with joy.
Yes.
And I think I shared this with you guys before, but my dad is 80, just turned 83, and he is really loving to go back and reminisce about his Navy days. And at first it's like, okay, Dad, we just heard that same story about an hour ago. And I don't ever say that, but I started just paying attention to him and the joy that it was bringing to him to recount. And I started thinking about that. If that's actually adding health to him. You know, we do all these things to try to be healthier, our cholesterol and our exercise, and you know, what about meaningful remembering or meaningful interactions, like just like what we're having right now? Because I started to think this morning, I don't know if anybody's going to show up because I forgot to send a reminder, and what if only one shows up? That's enough. It's enough for me. These interactions with you guys are so important to me, even more than I love to teach. You know how much I love the classical instruction, but to be able to just be together and spur one another on is so important to me, and I feel like I'm going to continue doing it as long as I can, just so that we can, because it's adding health to me. It's adding health to you to interact in meaningful conversation, not just my sister and I call it blah blah blah, where we just get caught up on what happened today and yesterday, and we just talk about stuff that doesn't matter but this matters because it's meaningful to us. It's like this hot cup of chai that I put cream in and honey, and it just makes my spirit feel good when I drink it up. It does that for our spirits. I think I'm going to stop the share and let's get back to sharing what you've been doing, what you've not been doing, what you want to do. Peach, you want to jump in there? I'm going to call on y'all. So if you're not comfortable, if nothing comes to your mind, say nothing's here right now. Come back to me later.
That little doggy.
That little doggy. Let me share.
Put it up a little closer.
Why no.
Yeah,
We need to see it better.
Oh boy, I've been spotlight.
Oh, I like
There
that
she
red
is.
canvas. No, is that an Aussie?
I don't know what that. Yeah,
It's like a border collie.
it is.
Border
It's a
collie?
kind of border mix, something or other. This gal, I'm not kidding you. I've done I don't know how many of her animals. I got this one. I got another one to do for her husband for Christmas for her. She has like 10 dogs. She has 2 horses she rescued, like not real big horses. They don't ride them; they just feed them. I mean, this woman you think you're rescuing? This chick is like the rescue queen, and they have, like I said, dogs, no cats, dogs and horses. I think a turtle, and she has several acres in Lebanon. It's a lovely place. She's retired now. That's how I know her because we used to work together at ACA, and just a lovely person, and a total and her. She just loves her dogs, and I've painted I don't know how many.
I understand the concept.
Of rescuing?
I only have 2, but oh my, they are, there are 2 more people in this household.
Yep.
We make decisions based on them.
Yeah, so do we. It's kind of weird. Okay, that's
And that adds health to you. That love that those relationships with your animals, that adds health to your bones, to your spirit. Those interactions, and even painting them. I was trying to decide what kind of paintings to put up in this big old house, and I don't have as much space here as I did, but I've got my grand dog Emma that I put up. I've got all kinds of grand dogs, and I only put Emma up. She's the only one I've painted, but I love that painting. I love the light in it, and it's kind of odd in the middle of my Victorian paintings. There's a dog face, but it's what I wanted to put up, and doing what you enjoy. And Peach, I want to say, I hope it's okay if I share. Peach is helping get her other mother situated into assisted living, and she has a million things going on her plate as well all the time, but she makes time for creating.
have to, otherwise I'd go nuts. It keeps me sane. That and exercise. Please take me off the spotlight. It's creepy.
Oh yeah, sorry. I know I'll get you off. Sorry. We were enjoying looking at all your stuff. Yeah, so that spurs me on too to see. At first I'll think, well, Peach is retired; she's got plenty of time. And then when I talk to her on the side, and I hear that she's been helping Mary, yeah, just all the different things that you have going on all the time, and the people in your life. We're all busy, but creating is a delightful interlude. So glad you popped on here. You keep spurring me on. Bridget, do you have any endeavors to share?
I do. It's really interesting, this whole play versus taking yourself too seriously kind of thing. It took me a while to figure this out, but those of you who know me from years past know that, and I did one in Christie's class, that I actually paint fine art for my Christmas cards usually. And I take it pretty seriously. And it just wasn't going there this year. It wasn't happening. I wasn't sure what I was going to do. And I went back old school and cut a linoleum block. And so
cool.
Wait a minute, let me spotlight
the
you.
red. Yeah.
That just brings a big smile.
Yes, that's adorable. I love that.
Oh, yes.
It
Please
starts like
show
that.
us.
And then I do hand detail work. And then I've got a whole dining room table full of them right now to spackle the snowflakes on.
You actually send out original art?
Yes, each one of them. And I send out over 100 cards every year. So it gets to be a bit much.
Can we see the linoleum cut? Oh, wow.
So cool.
Oh,
To spackle them. And here's the linoleum. Well, let me come back over here where I have better lighting.
Okay, because you're making me sick.
You need to do that. There's the linoleum block.
Oh, they're prints. They're prints. My mother used to do that.
Is there
That is
anything
so cool.
you don't do? Oh, that's amazing.
That is so cool.
So I used to do linoleum blocks back when I was in high school. And I just decided I wanted to do something that was going to be fun and a little more creative than.
Oh, it is.
That is fabulous.
What surface did you put them on?
It's craft paper. It's brown craft paper.
Oh,
Turn
okay.
it sideways. Turn it.
Yes, we can see it.
How thick is
Okay. It's kind of stiff.
A little bit heavier than a
Can
brown
you
paper.
show us the package?
90 pound probably.
Can
I'm
you show
sorry?
us the package? Can you show us the package of paper?
I bought it at Michael's in packs with envelopes, with craft envelopes. But
Oh,
I thought they were folded cards. I didn't realize they were flat cards. So I bought white stock cards then I will attach these onto it so I can have.
Cool.
Yeah.
that is cool.
Bridget, that is wonderful. That is
Well,
so cool.
It's
I have
certainly,
an idea.
it's certainly not time conserving.
Are you going to write individual Christmas cards? Oh, okay, so instead of gluing crap on there, why don't you just write them in some of that white gel pen on the back of that, and then you don't have to have that extra step.
Because I plan on handwriting inside the cards. It's just it's what I
she
do.
does.
Okay,
Yeah.
fun.
And
If it makes you happy, that's good.
I've got peel and stick, double-sided tape.
Oh,
So I'm just dip and plop them there and then
Okay.
write.
Bridget, hold it back up again.
It's beautiful.
Okay, let me see the bottom. Okay, how did you apply all the red and green
The
dots?
red, green, and white dots came on the paper. I don't have a piece of the paper that has
Really?
Yeah.
How ingenious
Stick 'em on
you
there?
thought to just incorporate all that.
Uh-huh.
Did you already have your bird decision before you saw the paper, or what?
I've been because I feed the birds out. I have so many cardinal pictures that I've taken over the years. I just went through my stock of the photos that I took and found one that I thought would carve well.
That is wonderful.
That's just fabulous.
Well,
Okay,
thank you.
so you painted the branch in. The branch is not a part of the lino cut, or is
Right. No, I've got acrylic ink, acrylic paint pens. So I put the branch in first, then I put the facial features in and the beak color, and then the snow on the branch I paint in, and then I spackle. This one I hand dotted because this was just my proof one. But the ones that are on the table, I'm going to take a toothbrush in white paint and spatter the snowflakes on them.
Okay, the branch. Did
Uh-huh.
you use paintbrush or paint pen?
Paint pen.
Cool.
Tail
Yeah.
work is done.
How do you get the lines so crisp on the stamp? Like for the cardinal?
Show us again.
It's
Oh.
deep. It must have to do. Can you turn that sideways, Bridget?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, but like whenever I've done it, it's like kind of jagged when it, I mean, this was back in high school. I haven't done it in a long time, but like yours is so crisp and like detailed. I don't know how you did that.
Did
I
you
carved it that
recommend a
way.
certain knife?
It's the Speedball linoleum cutters.
Speedball? We should all do something just
I-
like
No.
for fun.
Yeah,
Bridget,
the set at Jerry's.
How did you decide? These are obviously pine needles in the background.
No, those are just my carving strokes.
Yeah.
Just your carving stroke. Okay,
Yeah,
that
just
didn't go
carved
onto the paper.
It
It
does
looks
not-
like it's in the evergreens.
Yeah,
Yes.
it would have been fun to have carved one that was all branchy like that and do
Well,
double. Then you have
I
to do all the
can't
extra
imagine you doing anything more fabulous than you did. That is amazing. You should
you.
frame one of those and look at it often. That's a real smile maker there. That's great.
I love
And
it.
it is a chance to come out and play, which is what I've been doing with these cards, stamping them and coloring them. So it's been play.
That's cool.
Oh, I
But
love
you
it.
know what, Bridget, you know how I feel when you take this play, which is amazing play, and you compare it to the card that you did last year.
Oh my
my
gosh.
Oh my goodness. But you read that saying, comparison is the thief of joy. If I compare, my best portrait to what I just put in this book, I'm going to be pretty depressed. So I just got to accept the play for what it is, although you made something amazing.
But it's going to surprise people because they're used to my doing the real, the fine art, the real technical fine art that I normally do. And this is very rustic, but every one of them is unique, and I'm putting hand details on every one of them. So it's just something different. And I'm really
Great.
Oh my
It
gosh.
brought a smile to your face, didn't it?
Did.
Yep.
And to get a piece of hand-touched art, I mean,
yeah.
even your prints are so valuable when they come. I love getting them, but to get something that somebody has actually made, because Peach would send me her check sometimes in a little watercolor card, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a piece of art. I would keep it on my desk, for months and months. Yeah, it's very personal and precious to receive something that somebody's actually put their hand to. For not for everybody, because not everybody realizes what goes into it. It's just like, enjoying a piece of music that you don't know anything about music. Sometimes you just skim right over it. I love
You
that.
make me want to try, Bridget.
Me too.
I've got the
know.
stuff here to do it. You made me want to try.
Well, it's fun. And in addition to the linoleum blocks, which are a little trickier to carve, they also have like pink rubber stamp blocks there at Jerry's, which carves easier. It's easier for beginners or people who haven't done it before.
The pink blocks.
Yeah, it's a rubber stamp block instead of linoleum. Linoleum is literally like the linoleum on your floor, so it's pretty hard.
Now,
And
Put it in the chat.
Shelley
easier to
Bender
carve-
does that. She
It's
loves
easier than
to
carving wood. Yeah,
Is
it's
it?
easier than wood, but it's not as easy as carving a rubber stamp.
How long would you say it took you to carve that? Probably. Any idea?
About an hour and a half. Now, after I made my first print of it, I realized where I had ridges and high spots that were catching ink. So I went back, washed it off, and went back and cut deeper. So I went back and probably did another half hour after that. But it's a very simple design, so it really didn't take long.
I love that. And that's something to keep in
Sometimes
mind.
simplicity is so elegant looking, and that is.
Christina, do you have anything you want to share with us about creativity or spurring on?
Sure. Like I actually, like last year I did this beaded ornament, Christmas
Well, that's
ornament.
neat.
Oh.
And like so I wanted to kind of continue that tradition, and like I started this one. It was supposed to be flat, but
Can you push it closer to the camera?
yeah. So,
Yeah.
Aw.
so I think I'm gonna make a back for it so
Yeah.
that it's like in a flat back, so it'll.
Nice.
But like this one actually, I hung it on the tree already today, and the light comes by like through it really cool.
Oh,
so it kind of
nice.
like sparkles and everything. Like I'm pretty excited about how it
Love it.
is on the tree. But it's just like it's
good.
fun, something to do while you're watching TV and just like stringing it. I find it relaxing. So
Those are nice.
thanks.
And I want to tell you, getting my Christmas stuff out, I went through and I sold a bunch of my stuff in a yard sale, but I went through my ornaments, and Carla had, when her mom and dad passed away, she had all kinds of ornaments that her mother had made. And each Christmas for a couple of years, she would give me one of those ornaments.
Wow.
And I need to go, I'll get it before the class is over and show you. But one of them is a little tiny, they're little tiny things, but one of them is a little cup that looks like a sundae, a little ice cream sundae. And it's this little plastic cup with a pink pom-pom and a white pom-pom and a little cherry on top with a little straw. And it's a little string glued on it. And when I found that in the very bottom, I was like, I let Desi use it with her Barbies for a few minutes. And then I went in there and noticed she had pulled the straw out. But when I find those, I immediately thought of Carla and just how sweet it was. Her mom had made a bunch, and I guess she had enough to share with people. But how sweet it was that she shared something of her mom's like that with me. And it's so personal. And those mean so much more to me than just the glittery balls I buy at Hobby Lobby or whatever. Meaningful things that people have put their hands to.
Yeah. I actually want to make them I gave a couple of friends some last year, but I want to get to the point where I'm like comfortable with them and I can kind of just like be faster at production and give them out. That's my end game.
Yeah. So meaningful for people. And the same with plants, when I moved from the other house, I went out and got a little piece of each kind of plant that I have, and I stuck it out in the big round bed out back. But so many of the plants I have, people gave to me, and whenever I would walk through my garden, I would think of them, and they're very meaningful that way, So we don't realize what our creativity does in other people's lives as well.
Okay, with that being said, if anybody has a cutting of a climbing rose bush, I want one.
Okay.
Somebody told me they had one years ago because I wanted one too, and I can't think of who it was now. I'll try to remember, so we can I can pass that on to you.
I've got to try to find one of those. I've been wanting one for years.
Me too.
Well, let's go steal one.
Yeah.
Just cutting.
We could all dress up in dark clothes and go out at night.
No, do it during the day when you're just sort of trucking along. They would never suspect a thing.
Well, I have a friend I can turn you on to, Charlotte. She used to get stuff from Cheekwood every time we went. She's like, they'll never miss it. It's on the ground. It needed to be weeded anyway. Or, I'm like, Charlotte, we're going to be in jail before this is over. But I have lots of little pieces of rock cress and different things that she got at Cheekwood that are in my garden now. And I've shared with a million other people. So, Heather, how about you? You been doing any creative juice stuff lately?
I have. I've struggled with a lot of self-hate in my life. And so I wrote a book probably in 2010. I've been working on it off and on. And so I thought about doing some illustrations for it. And I thought, well, I don't really know how to do that. So
you don't have to.
I decided
to do it.
I decided to do like sketching every day. And so instead of taking the thought process of what am I going to sketch every day, I thought, well, every single month I'm going to pick something kind of out of the book and I'm going to sketch that like every single month. So the first month was rabbits. So I've sketched every day. I think I don't know if it's today or tomorrow, it's been like 30 days. So I'm really proud of myself for that, for like sketching every day, even if it's just something simple. I bought a bunch of drawing books and I thought, okay, I'm just going to kind of try and sketch. And like this month I've started trees, and then next month I was going to do wolves, and then the next month I was going to do something else. So, and this girl had this rabbit book where they're really simple and they're really cute. So that's kind of something that I did.
Good.
Oh, they're great.
A little bit closer.
Hold on too much because you'll make me puke.
Oh, those are so good, Heather.
Yes, they are. They're excellent.
I love those.
So I did that.
Really
and then
good.
this month I've done like
Oops.
Sorry. Like at the end, she had like two little rabbits together.
Aw. That's really good. You should be proud of that. And you don't know how?
Yeah. That's what
I
don't know how. Look at what somebody
before, but
doesn't know
nothing
how
like
did it.
Nothing like what?
nothing like where I really focused on sketching and thought, okay, because a lot of times I doubt myself and I think I can't do this. And I thought, I did this devotional, I think last year, and this guy had tried out for the NBA, and he was like, why can't you just try? He goes, if you fail, he goes, at least you can say, I tried it. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to try. And so my goal is to next year at some point publish the book and then do my own illustrations. And I thought I'm not getting anywhere by putting off and procrastinating my art ability. If I want to get better, then I'm going to have to just really focus on it. And I don't put a time limit, like I've got to sketch for 30 minutes or I've got to do this from 10 to 11. It's just when it works for me that day. And I remember there was one time I was so tired and I was like, I'm going to sketch this rabbit. And I think he ended up kind of looking like a goat in the nose. And I'm like, I don't even care. But at least I stuck with my goal. And I'm focused on that. And then I did a tree too. This one's a little lighter, but this one.
That's nice too.
Yeah.
So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to focus on sketching every day, even if it's like 10 minutes. And sometimes it gets hard because, and this was a good thing. I was like, I got off of Facebook because it was just not beneficial for me. But I was thinking about getting back on just to join the group because I do miss you guys on Facebook, because I was like, Facebook is just a negative for me for the most part. But
I think it is for most of us.
Nothing else.
Well, if you just hide everything but art.
Yeah. I've got to change my feed where I'm just like only have like tea, art, and then like all of my groups that are positive.
Hey, can we see that Gabbit, that goat rabbit?
Gabbit.
Where is Gabbit?
I was like, why does his nose look like a goat? I was like, I don't understand what's going on here. Like, you won't think he does, but when I looked at it, his nose was not right. It's this top one. His nose was not right. The bottom one's better.
That's adorable. That's not a Gabbit.
But the top one, it was like 11:30 at night, and I was like, I'm exhausted. I was like, I don't care. I'm drawing this bunny. I don't care how stupid it looks. I was like,
that's how you have to look at it. And you're making huge progress.
You are.
Because I was like, I thought tomorrow I can draw a better one.
Yeah.
And that was for me a positivity where I was like, tomorrow I can draw a better one. But I was like, at least I attempted it. I tried it. I stuck with my goal, and I'm proud of myself for doing that. So if I have one thing that I'm sketching every day, it takes what am I going to sketch today? I know what I'm going to sketch for this month. I'm going to sketch trees, and I'm going to get better at that. And I was trying to look through and think, okay, am I getting any better? And I thought, I don't know, but I'm certainly not getting any worse. So.
And I put in the chat, and I'm gonna copy the chat links and send out another little message later with all these links in them. But Heather, I put that just the reminder of that poem I think it's by Teddy Roosevelt, "The Man in the Arena." Such a powerful poem about people sit on the sidelines and give out criticisms all day long, but it's the man that's in the arena that's actually doing the thing. That has the courage to get in there and do it, and just to give ourselves credit for trying this, and for doing it every day or as often as we can. So I applaud you for jumping in there and having the courage, because for some it takes a little courage, for some it takes a lot of courage, and just depending on what we've walked through in our lives, the hamster wheel that spins and the voices that tell us we're not doing good. Who do you think you are? What makes you think you can be an artist? It's harder to fight those voices sometimes. And so I just applaud you for doing that, and I love it. I can't wait to buy your book. So it'll be out next year, right?
I'm hoping. That's my plan. That's my goal.
I love it. I love that. Keep
Heather,
pushing toward it.
When you do your illustrations, are you going to just sketch all your illustrations for your finished product, or are you planning on painting them?
I thought about sketching them, but I'm kind of open at this point in time. I'm like, I don't want to close any doors and be like, I'm not going to do that. So I don't know.
I was just curious. I've been practicing something in this sketchbook, the one that I have designated Parkinson's. And so
Uh-huh.
I'm practicing something, even though it looks like there's no rhyme or reason to what I'm doing. I'm using my color wheel, and when I'm playing in my sketchbook, so I'm learning more about sketching, but I'm learning more about color combinations at the same time through play.
Right.
So if you ever decide that you want to play with your sketches, you know, you can just it's helped me a lot to look at the placement of the colors on the color wheel and to make combinations for my spreads. I do that early on. That's what I'm trying to do now. So I'm trying to learn more than just get in, pastime, improve sketching. I'm actually incorporating studying color into it.
That's a good idea.
I
I
love
definitely
that.
need color studying.
And I use my color wheel and I say, I'm going to pick this one and this one and this one. And so I pick out, my palette, and then I go at what I'm going to do.
Well, that's
So
a good idea.
it's just another way of playing, and it's work.
Mhm.
I'm learning stuff from it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think just looking at it from all different perspectives and sharing your experience makes all the difference, because you might not have even thought to do that. And sometimes we limit ourselves by going, oh, I've heard, especially the kids, the boys that I've taught through the years, they're like, oh, I'm not putting color on it, I'll mess it all up. They're scared of the next level, that you're going to mess up what you've already done. And
But
I
if
think
you're playing in a sketchbook, you can mess it up if you
you can
want
mess
to.
it up, or
Okay,
you can
own
make
it, own it, own it. I made that mess. It's okay.
yeah.
You can have a goat bunny. It's no problem.
Exactly. And Denise, you had a great idea, and you made copies of your sketches, and then you would try different colors on those copies of your sketches, so that and Peach always has the statement, don't get too precious about it.
Yeah.
And we just like, oh, that sketch, it's just too precious for me.
But I don't want to draw something over and over and over again. I get bored with it.
It's boring.
So I
right.
draw it, and then I make copies of it, and then I color the copies, and I've never ruined the original's drawing.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know where I got that from.
Well,
From Christy or
I think I did because I had one of my students do that one time because she was worried about messing up the drawing, and then we did some pastel over the top of it just to see what it would look like in color.
Well, thank you for that idea. It was very liberating.
Yeah. Amy Lou, do you have any creative endeavors you want to share with us, and we'll finish up here in a second.
I could try my endeavor where y'all have all these nice, lovely canvases. My daughter has bugged me for the past few years. I hadn't put lights up, so I don't know if I can show you on the iPad. Me and my daughter created something.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it took us, because I've got little S things, it took us forever to take the little roping and go around the S's. And then on the way up, I updated, you go to the Dollar Tree, and I used some of my trimmings from my bushes and a live plant. So I've got my poinsettias as they come in. And then she liked to trip. This little friend of mine I've had for years. Mom was with me when I got it. Has been in the box. I told her it's older than her. I finally got to put my bear up.
Aww.
That's great.
Let's see if I can find oh, here we go. And I decorated got him up on the table. So we put cuttings. I used kind of like what you said, use what you have.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the Dollar Tree. So we just put it all together, and that's been my working canvas. Here's my partner in crime.
Aww.
So she's happy. Now we got to create the whole house. So
canvas comes in all types.
And give yourself credit, because I don't know, we've talked a lot about beating yourself up because you're not getting to the creative endeavors that are inside of you to do. But, from weeding a flower bed to setting a table, mine was, I set the table for Thanksgiving, and with all trying to get everything ready and the house, boxes out of the way so everybody could get in. I put fruit. I don't have a picture of it, but I have big gold charger plates that I put on the middle of the table, and I filled them with fruit because this season of our life has been so fruitful this last 6 months. And what I noticed in my garden this year, when all this stuff was happening to us was that my apple tree for the first time had apples this big on it. They were on the ground. My grapes were completely full. My hydrangea bushes were loaded with blue blossoms.
Lucky bye.
Everything that I grow in my yard this year, my peaches, the squirrels ate every one of them, but my peaches were loaded up. And I just kept noticing that and taking that as favor.
Are you talking about the old house or
the old house? Yeah, the old house, all that stuff over there. And you know, we had so many problems with different things. The squirrels always eat everything, and the bugs. And last year I didn't have any hydrangeas on my bushes, and I just stopped and took note that God was really showing us a year of abundance and fruit, and to feel worthy of it. Because I kept thinking, with all this of us getting all this stuff, these houses and cottages and garages and everything, I just kept thinking, there's so many people that are needy, and you know, do we deserve all this? And it's not about deserving, but just giving and receiving and learning to be a good receiver, so that we can, you know. My husband had an old friend come by this week who's alone now and very discouraged, and really even mentioned not wanting to live anymore. And he's invited him over to start helping him work on an old car, and you know, using the garage. And I hope that all these things that we've been given we'll be able to use to help and bless people, you know. And the other thing is just that we get to enjoy it, this antebellum type home with all the beautiful things that we have in it. So it's hard to stop and let yourself be given a gift sometimes. I don't know if you guys struggle with that, but I have a little bit with this, and feeling worthy to receive it all. And everybody's like, oh no, Christy, you deserve it. It's like, no, it's not really, not any more than my friend Gabriel that lives in Uganda with a dirt floor. My sister said, you know, if you want to give your little granddaughter a gift, but she won't take it because she's afraid you're going to take it back, or you know, she won't play with it because whatever she's thinking, how would you feel? And so I've had a lot of good illustrations like that over the last few weeks of just soaking it up and enjoying it, having joy. That was our first discussion, as we laughed and listened to Denise going through her struggles right now and pushing through those. And there's that puppy that brings her so much joy. I love that.
Well, Christy, while we were doing this, I felt like my mom, well, even my granny, was out there with me and Alyssa decorating. Alyssa did too. My sister, my teddy bear now, my big old polar bear, I call it my Coca-Cola bear, that y'all got to see. I actually bought him many moons ago. I just got him out of the box last night. Have not got to use him because everybody says somebody's going to tear it up. You can't put it in the yard, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, and I looked and it had Mom's name. Mom was there. She saw it and this and that. And, you know, I felt good. And Alyssa's like, I wish Mom could, grandmama could see it. And I said, she is. All we got to do is say, look at it, Mom. Mm-hmm. So anyway, when you're talking, it was like special moments. And I went back thinking about all that. And Mom helped me get that big old bear. It was in a huge box. To get it back from the mountains to here. So I had lots of good memories going on last night, and then putting that thing together, God, I was ready to throw it across the room at first. So you saw, and see, I'll show him again. He did look pretty good.
He looks great.
He looks pretty good.
He does.
His head moves.
Aww.
He's kind of like an owl too.
And y'all, she is the queen of parties and having fun. And I love that. And even just your memories, you know, watching you go through the grief of losing your mom a few months ago, you know, just watching you continue to remember her. That's blessing you and giving health to you as you think about her and keep her alive. I love that. Thank you guys, everybody, for sharing. What a great session it's been. I'm not going to quit doing this. I know it's going to get busy the next few weeks with the holidays, but you've given me an idea. Christina said she's down for a creative challenge. I think maybe a sketchbook challenge for January, or just a theme. So send me your ideas. And I did send out in my email this morning a list of the instructional topics that I cover. So I probably will resend that with a little button on it for you to respond with any topics that you would like this coming year. I want to keep teaching. I'm still not sure what form that's going to take, but I love Zoom. I love being able to connect with you guys. So even if we just do Zoom sessions to share what we're doing, but if any of you are interested in instructional topics for the new year, please respond to my email and let me know which topics are interesting to you. Because I don't, and I think Tuesdays, I'll probably stick with Tuesdays because just we're used to that, Tuesday mornings, mid-morning. Yeah, Denise?
I'd like to say, you've heard the old adage, repetition is the mother of invention. And, you have some excellent instruction, and I've been with you a lot of years, but there's always something new to take away from. You don't get it all the first time, the second time, the third time. It's not boring to study the same things over and over again, because we glean something from every experience.
Sure.
So, it doesn't have to be anything new for me.
Okay.
Think about it, all the art that's been done for thousands of years, it's not new stuff, they did it the same way, and learning to do it classically is a privilege, not tedious, and especially my impression of the whole thing is, if you throw classical teaching in a sketchbook, it's the best of everything, because you've got play, you've got solid instruction too. So,
and I love that. I was thinking back about us studying the old masters or just anything together. It got me in there painting for you guys. I videoed
there are
it
some
for you.
Beautiful paintings came out of that section.
And it got some of you guys to doing it too, and so I thought about doing that again this year too. And it doesn't have to be old masters; it could be some other topic or just something that we do together. But it jump starts us to get us back in there. So we've done trees, and I still can't do a decent tree. So. Trees are hard. So Heather, that tree was awesome.
They're hard.
Yeah, I'm gonna copy all the chat segment and put all these links in for you guys and send those out sometime. I'm not sure if I'll do it today, but I'll get that out to you. And also, I recorded this, so is anybody opposed to me sharing it with our group?
No, I'm fine on our group.
Yeah, I won't share it.
Like
publicly.
my mug on Facebook, for general public.
Okay.
You'll blow my cover. I told you that.
Yeah, she's a witness protection plan, so we have to be careful with what we share about Denise.
Don't ask what I saw, Peach. It's ugly.
I love you guys. Thank you for letting me run over a little bit on time, and it was so good hearing from every one of you.
It was fun.
We'll do it again as soon as the holidays are over and everybody's not so busy. Or I may pop us in one more time through the holidays if y'all want to. But love you guys. Have a great Christmas if we don't see each other before then.
And a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Merry Christmas.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya later.